I'm Jenni Carlson here with Brandon Chatmon. Oklahoma State preparing to play Arizona in the Alamo Bowl. Our Alamo Bowl coverage is brought to you by MidFirst Bank. All right, Brandon, time for some predictions. What's your score for this game tomorrow?
Well, I predicted in the paper 45-24, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. OSU pulling out the victory. Now, obviously, I picked that a while ago, a couple weeks ago, so for a 21-point victory would obviously be very, very impressive. But what I really was thinking in terms of picking that particular score was I felt like the Cowboys are going to be successful offensively. I feel like Justin Blackmon is set for a big game. Kendall Hunter might be set for a big game, so it should be an interesting battle.
I don't have the Cowboys winning by quite that much. I've got 42-28, but for many of the same reasons. I think this Oklahoma State offense is going to have a good day against Arizona. I do think Arizona is interesting in that they've been able to get pressure on teams. They've brought some pressure from their defensive ends, and they have a pretty decent secondary. But I do think Oklahoma State's offense, we've seen it out of them pretty much every time they've stepped on the field, Brandon. I think we're going to see it again tomorrow. What can people expect on the other side of the ball? What do you expect out of the Arizona offense and then the Oklahoma State defense?
I'd expect Nick Foles to have a pretty good game. I'd expect him to throw for at least 300 yards. I mean, the guy is an outstanding quarterback. He's been consistent this year, and the Cowboys' pass defense, let's be honest, it's not very strong. They've struggled at times. They finished 115th in the nation out of 120 teams, so obviously they haven't been going out there and slowing down great quarterbacks. So I expect Foles to have a big game, but I also expect the Wildcats to have a turnover or two, which might end up being the difference in terms of the score.
When I tell you what, it's interesting, too. Arizona has had pretty good success moving the ball. They average a lot of yards, but they have trouble in the red zone. This is a team that even their coaches admit, hey, we've struggled in the red zone. They're going to have to get that fixed. Oklahoma State's defense is sort of their mirror opposite. They'll give up some yards, but then they'll come up with a turnover, keep a team from scoring. So I think it'll be interesting to see who wins that battle. Brandon, lastly, let's talk about special teams, because I think this could be an area that a lot of people are overlooking with all the points that could potentially be scored. But this could be an area where people might want to watch for some action in the Alamo Bowl tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt. That could be a huge issue when you're thinking of Quinn Sharp. You're so used to that guy kicking the ball in the end zone. You're so used to the Cowboys not having to cover every single kick, but the potential for tomorrow with Dan Bailey kicking off, the potential is there for the Cowboys to have to cover, say, 7, 8, 9 kicks, which would make it kind of difficult for the Cowboys, because it's been a situation where early on in the season they struggled a little bit as far as their kick coverage. So if they have to cover 7 to 8 kicks tomorrow, that could be a long day for them. But at the same time, they've shown some improvement. So it'll be interesting to see just how far they've come from game one till now.
I think it's safe to say lots of points being scored. This is going to be a late one, an 8:15 kick here in San Antonio. Take a nap in the afternoon, Cowboy fans. You're going to want to stay up and see the end of this one.